Ladies and gentlemen, tennis fans, sports enthusiasts, and members of the global Filipino community, stop what you are doing. Put down your phones, pause your day, and listen very closely because what I am about to tell you is not just a news update. It is a collision of timelines. It is a glitch in the sporting matrix. It is a moment that, on paper, should not be possible. Yet here we are, standing on the precipice of history. Breaking news coming out of Auckland, New Zealand, has just sent shockwaves through the entire tennis world. The draw is out. The schedule is set. An impossible matchup is officially confirmed. We are hours away from a clash that represents the absolute extreme of generational warfare. For the first time in history, the rising sensation of Southeast Asia, the pride of the Philippines, Alexandra Eala, is set to step onto the same court to face the living legend, the 7-time Grand Slam champion. The icon who turned professional before her opponent was even a thought in the universe, Venus Williams. This is the news that has all of New Zealand buzzing. The ASB Classic in Auckland has just become the center of the sporting universe. We're calling this the dream match, but even that title feels insufficient. This is a confrontation between the past, the present, and the future of women's tennis. Let's break down exactly why this is shattering the headlines this morning. We are talking about Venus Williams. Venus Williams is 45 years old. She is returning to the tour in 2026, defying every law of biology and athleticism, carrying the weight of 33 professional seasons on her shoulders. And standing across the net, Alexandra Eala, the 19-year-old phenom, the girl who grew up watching Venus on television, likely idolizing the very ground she walks on, now tasked with the job of trying to defeat her. The headline you saw is not clickbait. The atmosphere in Auckland is electric. The organizers are scrambling. The ticket sales are spiking. And the social media sphere is in an absolute meltdown. Why? Because this isn't just a game. It is a passing of the torch, or perhaps a refusal to pass it. Consider the sheer scale of this moment. When Venus Williams played her first professional match in 1994, Alex Eala was still 11 years away from being born. Let that sink in. 11 years. We are witnessing a mother-daughter age gap played out at the highest level of professional sport. This is not a common occurrence. This is a Halley's Comet event. It is rare, it is beautiful, and it is brutal. For Alex Eala, this is the test of a lifetime. We have watched her rise. We have watched her grind through the ITF circuit. We watched her train at the Rafa Nadal Academy, soaking up the grit and intensity of the King of Clay. We just saw her capture the gold medal at the Southeast Asian Games, bringing glory to her flag. But this is different. This is the big leagues. Stepping onto the court against the Williams sister is not a tennis match. It is a psychological examination. You're not just playing against the ball. You are playing against an aura. You are playing against history. Can Eala handle the weight of that shadow? Can she look across the net, see the face of a woman who changed the sport forever, and treat her like just another opponent? Or will she freeze? That is the question on everyone's lips today. And for Venus, the narrative is equally compelling. Why is she here? Why, at 45, with nothing left to prove, with hundreds of millions in the bank, with a legacy cemented in gold, is she lacing up her shoes in Auckland? Because she is a warrior. Because the fire that burned in Compton 30 years ago is still flickering. But make no mistake, Venus is not here to be a tourist. She is not here to wave to the crowd and sign autographs. She is here to compete. She is here to teach the new generation a lesson in longevity and power. The context of this match is fascinating because it is a doubles clash which add a layer of complexity and strategy that we need to dissect. Eala will be pairing with the young American prodigy Iva Jovic. Venus will be pairing with the Ukrainian star Alina Svitolina. But let's be honest with ourselves. The cameras, the eyes, the narrative, it's all focused on that cross-court exchange between Eala and Williams. That is the money shot. That is the moment we are waiting for. New Zealand is in shock because they didn't expect this wild card drama so early in the tournament. The ASB Classic is known for being a friendly, warm-up event for the Australian Open, but the tennis gods have decided to dial the intensity up to 11 right from the start. In this deep dive, we're going to explore every angle of this matchup. We will look at the tactical breakdown, Venus's legendary serve and reach versus Eala's lefty spin and court coverage. We will look at the mental game, the pressure on a teenager carrying the hopes of a nation versus the freedom of a legend playing on house money. We will look at the venue, the Manuka Doctor Arena, which is about to become a cauldron of noise. And we will ask the big question, is this the moment Alex Eala officially arrives on the global stage? If she can hit a winner past Venus Williams, if she can stand her ground against that legendary power, she stops being the prospect and starts being the contender. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We are about to peel back the layers of this historic announcement. We will look at the stats, the history, the quotes from the players, and the implications for the upcoming Australian Open. This is a definitive preview of a match that we will likely be talking about for years to come. The dream match is about to happen. The first game is imminent. Let's dive in. Welcome back to our in-depth coverage. Now that we have set the stage, it is time to slow things down and really analyze the magnitude of what is happening in Auckland. To understand this match, we cannot just look at the schedule. We have to look at the timeline. We have to understand the two very different roads that have led these two women to this specific intersection in time. Let's begin with the setting. Auckland, New Zealand, the ASB Classic. For those of you who follow the tour closely, you know that Auckland is special. It is the first ray of sunlight in the new tennis calendar. Players arrive here from their brutal preseason training blocks. They are rusty, they are anxious, and they are hungry. The air is fresh, the summer in the Southern Hemisphere is kicking in, and the courts are hard and fast. Historically, this tournament has been a stomping ground for legends. Serena Williams has played here. Caroline Wozniacki has played here. And yes, Venus Williams has won here. She lifted this trophy in 2015. When Venus walks onto the center court in Auckland, she isn't walking into a strange arena. She is walking into her living room. The New Zealand crowd adores her. They treat her like royalty. Now, imagine the atmosphere facing young Alexandra Eala. She is walking into Venus country. The crowd will be polite, sure. Kiwis are known for their sportsmanship, but make no mistake, the sentimental favorite is the 45-year-old legend. Eala is going to have to battle not just the ball, not just the opponents, but the emotional current of the entire stadium. It is almost impossible to overstate her impact. We are talking about a woman who turned professional in October 1994. Think about the world in 1994. The internet was in its infancy. Smartphones didn't exist. Alex Eala's parents were likely just starting their own adult lives. Venus Williams changed the geometry of tennis. Before her, the women's game was often characterized by finesse, slice, and tactical maneuvering. Venus brought unparalleled athleticism. She brought height, reach, and a serve that registered on the radar gun like a missile. She was a prototype for the modern power player. Now, at age 45, what does she have left? Critics will point to her movement. They will say she's slower than she was in 2000. And that is true. You cannot defeat Father Time. But what Venus has lost in speed, she has gained in tennis IQ. She knows every spin, every angle, every trick in the book. In a doubles format, which this match is, her lack of lateral movement is minimized. She only has to cover half the court. This makes her dangerous. Her reach at the net is still elite. If Eala tries to float a ball past Venus at the net, she's going to find out very quickly why Venus has 14 Grand Slam doubles titles. Venus is playing with Alina Svitolina, a defensive baseliner, a grinder, a former world number 3. This pairing is formidable. You have Venus's power and net presence combined with Svitolina's speed and consistency. This is a nightmare draw for any young team. Now, let's pivot to the challenger, Alexandra Eala. If Venus is a setting sun that refuses to fade, Eala is the rising dawn. Born in 2005 in Quezon City, Philippines, Alex Eala represents something huge for Asian tennis. We have seen champions from China like Li Na. We have seen champions from Japan like Naomi Osaka. But the Philippines? A country with a massive passion for sport, but a scarcity of world-class tennis infrastructure? Eala is a unicorn. She left her home young to train at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca, Spain. Do you know what that tells us? It tells us she has discipline embedded in her DNA. You don't survive in the Doll Academy by being soft. You survive by grinding. You survive by suffering on the clay. Eala plays with that lefty intensity. That southpaw advantage is crucial here. As a left-hander, Eala's serve slices away from right-handed opponents. Her forehand cross-court hook is nasty. In this match against Venus, Eala's youth is her weapon. She is 20 years old. Her recovery time is instantaneous. She can run all day. She needs to be the engine of her team. Her partner, Iva Jovic, is even younger, an 18-year-old American talent. Together, they are the kids' table. They are the teenagers crashing the adults' dinner party. The tactical breakdown. How does this match play out? This is where we get technical. The dynamic of this match, Eala/Jovic versus Williams/Svitolina, is a classic case of energy versus experience. For Eala to win this, she has to target Venus's movement. It sounds disrespectful, but it is a reality of sport. You cannot hit the ball to Venus's strike zone. If Eala feeds Venus waist-high balls, Venus will crush them. The power is the last thing to go. Venus can still hit a winner at 100 miles per hour. So the strategy for Eala? Move her. Drop shots. Deep lobs. Sharp angles. Make the 45-year-old sprint. Test her lungs. Test her legs. However, there is a mental trap here. If Eala focuses too much on Venus, she might forget about Svitolina. Svitolina is a shark. She will be patrolling the baseline, waiting for Eala to make a mistake. Eala has to play aggressive, high-percentage tennis. She cannot be starstruck. This is a first-game factor mentioned in our headlines. The first few games of this match will be critical. When Eala steps up to serve to Venus Williams for the first time, her heart rate will be through the roof. Her hands might shake. That is natural, but she has to calm that storm immediately. If she gets broken early, if Venus hits a return winner down the line in the first point, the intimidation factor could end the match before it begins. The shock factor. Why is New Zealand shocked? Because usually tournaments protect their stars. They try to keep the big names apart until the finals, but the draw is random. The draw is cruel. Seeing Venus Williams facing such a high-profile youngster in the opening rounds is box office gold, but also means one of them goes home early. If Eala wins, it is a headline that goes around the world. Filipino teen retires legend in Auckland. If Venus wins, the headline is Queen V teaches youngster lesson. The stakes are incredibly high for a first-round match. We also have to consider the doubles chemistry. Eala and Jovic are young. Have they played together enough to understand their spacing? Doubles is a dance. If you move left and your partner doesn't rotate, you leave a gap. Venus and Svitolina are veterans. They understand court geometry instinctively. Eala is going to have to communicate. She needs to be vocal. We want to see the head check, looking at her partner, high-fiving, keeping the energy positive. The legacy implications. Let's zoom out for a moment. Why does this matter? For Alex Eala, a win here is a resume builder the highest order. It's not just about ranking points. It's about belief. Once you're defeated at Williams, you walk into the locker room differently. You walk with your chest out. Other players look at you with more respect. It is a rite of passage. We saw this when a young Naomi Osaka played Serena. We saw this when a young Coco Gauff played Venus. Those matches were catapults. They launched careers. This is Eala's Coco Gauff moment. This is her opportunity to announce to the Western media, to the global sponsors, to the tennis elite, I am here, and I am not afraid. For Venus, this match is about defiance. Every match she plays now is a bonus. She is fighting against a narrative that she should retire. A win here validates her hard work. It proves she can still hang with the kids. And for the fans in New Zealand, they are witnessing a unique slice of history. They are seeing the overlap of eras. It's like seeing Michael Jordan play against LeBron James. It is a privilege, the anticipation. Right now, as we speak, the players are likely in their pre-match routines. Venus is likely in the physio room, getting her joints warmed up, visualizing her serve. She has done this 1,000 times. She is calm, Alex Eala is likely with her coach, going over the game plan, trying to keep her adrenaline in check. She is probably listening to music, trying to block out the noise. The court in Auckland is being prepped. The lines are being painted. The balls are being unboxed. The umpire is checking the microphone. The silence before the storm. We are about to see a lefty serve from the Philippines travel across the net to a backhand that was crafted on the public courts of Compton in the 1980s. Just think about the distance that ball is traveling, not in meters, but in history. This is why we love sports. Scriptwriters could not come up with this. A computer simulation could not capture the emotion of this. In the next section, I want to talk about the technical specifics of the court surface at the ASB Classic and how that favors one player over the other. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive, I want to leave you with a final thought on what we are about to witness. In the world of professional sports, we are often guilty of rushing the future. We are always looking for the next big thing, the next superstar, the next record breaker. And in doing so, we sometimes fail to appreciate the grandeur of the present. And conversely, we sometimes cling to the past, refusing to let our heroes go, refusing to accept that time moves on. This match, Alexandra Eala versus Venus Williams, forces us to confront both. We are forced to look at Alex Eala and acknowledge that the future is here. It is not coming soon. It is standing on the baseline. She represents the globalization of tennis, the proof that a champion can emerge in the Philippines and stand toe-to-toe with the giants of the West. And we are forced to look at Venus Williams and acknowledge that the past is not dead. It is still fighting. It is still sweating. It is still grunting with effort. Venus reminds us that greatness does not have an expiration date, only an evolution. Regardless of the scoreline when the final ball is hit, history will be made in Auckland today. If you are a fan of tennis, if you are a fan of competition, or if you are simply a fan of the human spirit, you cannot miss this. The dream match is no longer a dream. It is a scheduled reality. I want to hear from you in the comments section below. I want your predictions. Who takes this? Does the youth and speed of Eala and Jovic overwhelm the veterans? Or does the experience, the power, and the sheer aura of Venus Williams and Alina Svitolina teach the young guns a lesson they will never forget? Drop your score predictions. Tell me where you are watching from. Are you watching from Manila? From California? From Auckland? Let's get a conversation started. And remember, this is just the beginning of the season. The Australian Open is around the corner. If this is the drama we are getting in week 1, imagine what the rest of the year holds. If you enjoyed this deep dive analysis and want more extensive, long-form breakdowns of the biggest matches in tennis, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell. We don't just report the scores here. We analyze the soul of the game. New Zealand is shocked. The world is watching. The players are ready. Alex Eala, Venus Williams. Generations collide. The first game is about to begin. Thank you for watching and enjoy the match.